Okay, simplifying a few more trig expressions here. I'll go to the top one. Here we go. Ready? Okay, sine times. Okay, so we get the sine of t over 1 times tan, which is sine of t over cosine of t. That gives me sine squared t over cosine of t minus cosecant, which is what? 1 over sine of t times tan, which is sine of t over cosine of t. That cancels out. 1 over cosine of t. Common denominator, sine squared t minus 1 over cosine of t. So sine squared minus 1. Let's see what we can find here. Oh, look at that. That's one of the identities, so I just wrote them out first. All the variations on the identities. And what we came up with is, again, sine squared theta minus 1. Sine squared theta minus 1 equals negative cosine squared theta. So if I get negative cosine squared t, or theta, whatever we choose to use, over cosine of t, one of these cancel right out. I get negative cosine of t. Okay. This one is a little bit tougher, but same idea. So if I multiply these across the top, let's see, cotan, what's that going to be? Cosine squared t over sine squared t times cosine squared t over 1. Okay, so over here, that's going to give us cosine to the 4th t over sine squared t. Now all that's going to be over whatever we get down here. So let's leave that cleaned up for a minute. So cotangent, it's a little bit trickier. Cotangent's going to be what? So I got cosine squared of t over sine squared of t minus cosine squared of t over 1. Now when I find a common denominator, I think it's pretty clear that it's going to be sine squared t. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to multiply top and bottom by sine squared t, sine squared t. Does that make sense? So this goes into this many times, so that was fine. Well, actually, we're kind of done, but let me just rewrite it nice and neat, I guess. So I'm going to say cosine squared t subtract cosine squared t times sine squared t. And I think we're going to factor something out of the top to make it very clear. For out of the top, I'm going to factor out a cosine squared t. So I get cosine squared t. Then I have a what? 1 minus sine squared t all over sine squared t. Now let's take a look for a second. 1 minus sine squared t, I think that's going to be another identity here. 1 subtract sine squared theta. Yes, it is. Cosine squared theta or cosine squared t. Well, that worked out great. So if this changes to a cosine squared t, it looks like I get a cosine to the 4th t. Cosine to the 4th t all over sine squared t. Take the reciprocal. Sine squared t over cosine to the 4th t. 1 it is. Okay, kind of a pain, but not that bad. Now this is really the same thing. I'll do it out, but it's just flip-flopped. Okay, so we got our addition subtraction on top, so we'll do it out. So I get sine squared t over 1 minus tan, which is what? Sine squared t over cosine squared t. Obviously a common denominator is going to be cosine. So I get cosine squared t. And obviously, let's be a cosine and a cosine. So I'm going to write it out first. So I get a cosine squared t, sine squared t, minus, what's that? Sine squared t. So I'm going to factor out the top. It looks like I can pull out a sine, right? So I get a sine squared t, cosine squared t, minus 1. Well, cosine squared t minus 1, I think, that's what we can find here. Cosine squared t minus 1 is negative sine squared. So this right here results in a negative sine squared t. Okay? And this is still all over cosine squared t. So this gives us negative sine to the fourth t. So I get negative sine to the fourth t all over cosine squared t. And this is all over this result here, which I'll do out as what's tan? Is that sine squared t over cosine squared t times sine squared t over 1. Well, that gives me sine to the fourth t all over cosine squared t. I take the reciprocal, cosine squared t over sine to the fourth t. And it looks like, don't forget that negative 1. Cancel, cancel, negative 1 it is, and we're done. Those were good problems. Good job.